Well, Mark Zuckerberg had to front up to a landmark jury trial in Los Angeles today over whether social media is addictive for children. The boss of Meta, which owns Facebook and Instagram, had to defend his company from claims it targeted young users, and he was confronted with internal documents conceding that the company wasn't doing enough. Here is senior reporter Juliet Speedy.
Mr. Zuckerberg, did Meta purposely design the platform to harm children?
He may be the CEO of a trillion-dollar tech giant.
Mark, do you have a message to the parents?
But today, Mark Zuckerberg was facing not just questions outside court, but also a lengthy cross-examination inside as well. His social media platforms are being sued by an anonymous 20-year-old Californian woman who claims they're designed to be addictive and caused her anxiety and body image issues. Her case is seen as a test for dozens of other claims. The parents of young people who died by suicide because of the toxic content they'd seen online and are watching this case carefully. Today, Zuckerberg denied that his products are to blame for mental health issues in children. The court was read a 2019 email from former UK politician Nick Clegg, global executive for Meta, raising concerns and saying the fact we have age limits which are unenforced makes it difficult to claim we are doing all we can. In a statement today, Meta said it is confident the evidence will show our commitment to supporting young people. Meta claims the anonymous plaintiff was struggling before ever using its platform, saying the evidence will show she faced many significant, difficult challenges well before she ever used social media. Zuckerberg also pushed back on claims the platforms were designed to be addictive. The testimony was described by reporters in court as very combative between Zuckerberg and the plaintiff's lawyers.
Mark Zuckerberg appearing to give a lot of these kind of canned, seemingly PR-approved responses to things where there are certain emails that have been brought up. He says, I don't recall those emails. But again, the plaintiff is trying to paint this picture that this company, and I should point out that YouTube is also a defendant in this case, but at least in the case of Meta, they were aware of some of these risks.
Zuckerberg did admit he regrets the slow progress his company made in identifying underage users on Instagram. Laurie Schott's daughter Anna Lee went from happy farmer's daughter to tortured teen. Her mother tried in vain to restrict her phone access.
It got to the point where I would have to lock her cell phone and her computers and things in our car so she didn't have access to social media. Let's say what it is. It's addiction. I don't think any other parent out there says it's problematic use. It's addiction.
Would you like to apologize for what you've done to these good people?
This is Zuckerberg's first time in front of a jury, but 2 years ago he was forced to publicly acknowledge the suffering of bereaved families when he appeared before a congressional committee. But for Laurie, that wasn't enough.
My opinion is you pump the brakes right now, Meta, and you fix it. You had every opportunity, and I am so happy you are sitting in that chair today, in that courtroom, because it's fingers pointing at you.
A case that's expected to last weeks that could have consequences far beyond this Los Angeles courtroom.
Well, Paul Spain of Guerrilla Technology joins us to talk more about this fascinating case. It's a big case. There are big emotions and high stakes, actually, for Meta here, Paul.
Yes, look, this is being compared to the big tobacco trials of decades gone by. We know that social media has caused considerable harm over a long period of time, and this could be the case that flips that.
Well, parents around the world will be watching this case closely, including here in New Zealand. Could it have an impact here, whatever the outcome is, in Los Angeles?
Look, I think people will be watching this very carefully from right around the world. We do know that social media, platforms, such as Instagram, cause a considerable amount of damage, and more so for youngsters, disproportionately so. And whether that's the content that they get pushed through the algorithms that pushes youngsters that are maybe struggling with mental health issues to content that makes their situation worse, whether it's Instagram and other platforms as a gateway to pornography for youngsters. There's a whole raft of challenges, and so whatever comes out of this, could well have quite a flow-on effect for parents and families in New Zealand and beyond.
Yeah, well, we are seeing moves around the world, but recently in Australia to ban social media for the under-16s. And there is initial support, at least for a bill here. Is that the key, regulation rather than litigation for New Zealand?
Look, I think there's something to be said for regulation. The challenge is getting the right sort of regulation that's going to, protect our children, and that maybe doesn't end up being sort of too onerous on individuals and on families. There are concerns that this concept of the ban for under-16s ultimately means that every bit of online access ends up being tracked. And so, we have to look at, what's the right approach to solve these problems. But I think there are opportunities from a legislative perspective that would help reduce the harm and risks that we see from online platforms today.
Yeah, it is an important area. Paul Spain of Guerrilla Technology, thanks for joining us.